What limits you? Too small, too old, insecure, broken. You have no limits. Rethink your limits.
This is the OPS pregame report.
It's homecoming night at Dave S. Walters Memorial Stadium, where we're getting set for tonight's SAC rivalry kickoff between the Homestead Spartans and the Snider Panthers. Good evening, I'm Brayden Carroll, joined alongside Anthony Gery, and it's a hot day and a beautiful day in Fort Wayne, Indiana, 15 minutes away from kickoff. And Anthony, it's an important game for Homestead, fighting for their SAC lives against Snider again in a huge rivalry matchup.
And good evening to all of our watchers at home. It's a huge game in the SAC. Both Homestead and Snider trying to keep themselves in contention for the SAC title.
And let's begin with the OPS pregame report. Last week, Homestead knocked off the number 2 team in Class 5A in dominating fashion. Big 37-21 win, but the score doesn't tell the story that Homestead rolled over the Saints.
And
The stakes are high after the Spartans stopped Bishop Dwenger's 2-point conversion in triple overtime last year, and now they are back out at Shields Field and looking to keep the streak alive for another year. The Saints get the ball first, and they would waste no time. KJ Tipman of the Saints puts them up by 7. But now for the Spartans on their very first play, Slavin passes deep to Nate Anderson, and the catch is good, and he takes it home. We now have a tied ball game, 7-7. Still in the first, Spartans are heating up. Back in the red zone this time, it's Brett Fox who escapes the tackles and gives Homestead the lead. Later in the second quarter, it's Slavin with the 15-yard pass that connects to Anderson to put the Spartans up by 2 scores going into the locker room. Getting to the second half, now check this one out. Dwenger goes deep, but no, it's picked off in the end zone by Homestead's Aaron Wagner. Later on in the second half, Slavin works his way in from 2 yards out. The junior quarterback threw for 245 yards last Friday, as well as led the running game with 65 rushing yards. 28-7 going into the final quarter. Bishop Dwenger would close the point gap by scoring twice in the fourth. But here, Nate Anderson with the kick return, he gets all the way out to the sideline and he is just gone once again. 142 receiving yards on the night for the senior wide receiver. And the Homestead Spartans would beat Bishop Dwenger on their home field once again, 37-21 the final.
Welcome back to the OPS pregame report. About 10 minutes away from kickoff of Homestead Snider. I'm Brayden Carroll, joined by Anthony Gery and sideline reporter Karlie Flanagan. And let's get right into it. As the weeks have gone by, one player has really stood out above the rest on not just the team, but the SAC as a whole. Nate Anderson. He's been lighting it up this season. 9 shy of 100 yards receiving per game, 634 all-purpose yards, 6 all-purpose touchdowns. Number 2 is a man on a mission every time he steps on the field.
And he can do anything. He gets very little separation every time, but is able to catch the ball. As you see right here, easy catch for Nate Anderson that not many wide receivers in the SAC can do, and he can really do it all, catching those tight passes, getting a couple yards at a time. And talk about doing it all, he can even return kicks for all the way back for a touchdown. He's a great return man for the Spartans. As you see, he ran this one all the way back versus the Bishop Dwenger Saints.
Yeah, Nate Anderson, he has been phenomenal this year, 365 receiving yards. I mean, there's a reason that Western Michigan's looking at this guy. He's a fantastic player, not only on offense, but special teams for us. He had that kickoff return against Dwenger last week. He is phenomenal.
And he's had a couple kickoff returns as well that got called back. Northrop, he was 5 yards short. He had one against Concordia that got called back for a penalty. He's really a man that can do it all. He even plays safety sometimes on deep third downs.
And looking around the SAC last week, there weren't many surprises. First off, Luers dominated Concordia 49-14. The Cadets, they were without QB Eli Maddox, and that lack of leadership really showed Friday night.
And I don't think there's much you can do against this Bishop Luers team. They are a team that is on a mission to win the SAC. After beating Homestead and getting over Concordia, it's all in their own hands on whether or not they'll take the bell this year.
And Northside, they squeaked out their first win of the season, defeating Wayne 21-14 through the ground with Jonte Lambert. All 3 legend touchdowns came off handoffs to the speedy back.
And that's a bit of a worry for Northside, as they don't have many offensive options outside of Bronte Johnson and Jonte Lambert. However, a win over Wayne, getting their first win of the season, it is improvement, and it is a big upside for this Northside team.
And that leaves Wayne the only winless team in the conference. And elsewhere, Carroll, they stomped over Northrop 54-21. Big games from Becker and running back Luke Carmody, who got 162 yards on just 12 carries. Another big showing from this offense.
And coming into the season, it was expected that Carroll would be this elite offense, and they've shown it all season long, racking up the points on the scoreboard. The question is the defense, giving up 21 points to a little bit of a lackluster Northrop offense. That is a big question coming forward in some of the bigger games later in the season.
And we would talk about Snider's Southside, but that game was canceled due to COVID issues in the Archers program. Big problem for Snider, as now they sit below Homestead in the SAC instead of tied with them.
It's a downside, seeing that they have one less win at 2-1, but you can see it as an upside as well, because it doesn't matter if Snider's below Homestead in the rankings. If they get a win tonight, which they're well rested for this game, it won't matter.
And looking at the SAC standings after last week, Luers, they remain at the top of the conference with Carroll, Homestead, and Dwenger tagging behind at 3-1. With Snider not playing last week, it'll be a little tougher for them to climb up the standings, as number of wins does play a factor. But for the most part, focuses on this game, then Homestead Carroll, then Week 7's critical matchup between Luers and Dwenger.
And that Week 7 is going to be hectic. Luers, Dwenger, Homestead, Carroll. You couldn't ask for anything more. Those 2 games alone could pretty much decide the fate of the conference. That week alone could decide whether there's going to be a 3-way tie, a 2-way tie, or an outright winner in the SAC.
Certainly a whole lot of craziness ahead in the SAC. It's always a tight race for the bell, and it's going to be an even tighter race this season. Still ahead in the OPS pregame report, we're going to be taking a look at the Snider Panthers, along with what players to watch and keys to the game. The OPS pregame report continues after these messages.
Marco's Pizza, located at 10345 Illinois Road, inside the shops of Scott Road. Marcos specializes in pizza, subs, and more. Order online at marcos.com or by phone at 625-6800. Thank you, Marcos, for supporting the .91 FM and being a proud sponsor of Homestead Media's athletics coverage.
Welcome back to the OPS pregame report. I'm Brayden Carroll, joined alongside Anthony Gery, and we have some beautiful weather tonight. Clear skies as the sun slowly prepares to set over Fort Wayne. Temperature is looking great, a little hot, but it's going to be a great day for football again.
And let's talk about it. We have been blessed with great weather all 5 games to start the season. It's just beautiful. All the great weather that this football team has gotten this year.
We haven't hit Indiana fall yet, though. Usually at the end of the year, especially when Southside comes around, man, the weather can really take a turn on those games. And it's a big milestone that Coach Zolman could reach tonight against his old rival Snider. One more victory away from 150 in a career, and he has had quite the career so far with the Spartans.
And this career has been topped off by these last 3 years, probably some of the best years he's ever seen in some of the best teams he's ever coached for over the last 3 years. Of course, going undefeated in the regular season 2 years ago, 8-1 last year, and now only a 1-loss team this year. You couldn't have asked for anything more out of Coach Zolman.
Coach Zolman certainly has seen some success with the Spartans with 8 conference titles, including 2 in the SAC, and 5 sectional championships. He's still looking for that regional championship that Homestead hasn't seen since 1998, and he is pushing this team to get to that goal and get that regional championship.
And absolutely, it's not going to be any easy task, though, as Homestead. They have a rough path to get to that regional. Not only do they have to get past Warsaw and Carroll in sectional, then they have to take on a school out of the Indianapolis area in the regional, which the past few meetings against Carmel and Westfield have not gone their way.
Certainly been a tough road for Homestead in regionals. They seem to run into really the Indy area schools. Carmel, Westfield, last time they beat an Indy area school, Noblesville, in 2019. Since then, they've really had a tough stretch going down south and playing those teams in the central part of the state.
And last year's Westfield matchup was not the most ideal. It was rough conditions, a cold game. But hey, this year could be different. You never know.
And those Spartans coming out the tunnels certainly think this year's different. And right now, they're looking at an SAC title. The bell's still in their hands as it's ringing as they come out. But they're hoping for even more than that this year. Not only to hold on to the bell, but to find themselves whole lot of trophies afterwards.
Absolutely, and hey, it never hurts holding up a sectional, regional, semi-state, and state plaque.
And we're going to take a look at the FWO keys to the game. For Homestead, the running game, it has got to get going better than last week. Brett Fox only had 22 yards on 20 carries against the stout Dwenger D line, but things have to be different tonight.
And absolutely, they really need to improve their running game, get Brett Fox some more holes to run through in the offensive line, as Dwenger's defensive line really harassed Homestead's O-line all night long. Run a couple more option plays as they ran in the start of the season. Probably thought Dwenger had them figured out. Get Brett Fox to the outside, give him just a little bit of space because he can work with it.
And on defense, the passing defense really needs to step up. Lately, it's been all about stopping the rush, allowing only 76.5 yards per game on the ground. But Snider QB Luke Halper, he's going to be a major factor tonight, and the Spartans will have to find a way to shut him down.
Absolutely. In last game, it was all about who was going to step up in the cornerback room with Des Smith Jr. out, and I think Ethan Dorsey really stepped up better than anybody, played a phenomenal game last week, and Aaron Wagner too with the interception against Rocco Siaka. Couldn't have asked for anything more out of that secondary last week.
And looking at Snider, they have to eliminate Anderson as an offensive threat. If you let Anderson get open for a slight second, he can make you pay with 6 points.
And absolutely, Nate Anderson on those post routes, we love to see Coach Zolman and Coach Skelton, they love to run that option where they run Nate Anderson across the middle on the post route and let Slavin sling it downfield. They have to stop that if they want a chance of stopping Nate Anderson.
And finally, on offense, the Panthers have to work in plenty of passes because, as we talked about earlier, that is the one weakness that teams have seemed to prove to be exposable against Homestead.
And it'll be up to Kamari Juarez and Kendrill Billingsley, the leading targeters, the leading wide receivers for Snider this season.
And looking at tonight's game, it could be decided by 2 key players on each side of the field for Snider. Running back Tyrese Brown on offense and Purdue commit linebacker Dominic Moon on defense. Expect these two to be the priority for Homestead to take out of the equation and build the game plan around.
And Dominic Moon is someone that you don't run past very often.
And it's going to be a challenge for Homestead to really go up against those major threats to the game plan. Because Dominic Moon, he's been a phenomenal player this year. Meanwhile, Tyrese Brown has also been a threat. He's the leading rusher. NIA Marion is looking at him. I mean, there's really a whole lot of dogs on this Snider Panthers squad. Of course, you have right tackle Demon Moore, 6'7", 330-pound Indiana commit. I mean, imagine trying to run against him and trying to break through that line.
And yeah, it's going to be very, very important for Homestead to get by Dominic Moon and then stopping Tyrese Brown.
And then on defense, we already talked about Dominic Moon. I mean, he's an absolute stud. The Purdue commit, leading tackler. Last year, he was all SAC. And he even got honorable mention for All-State. I mean, he's an absolute stud. So far through the season, he's got 20 tackles, 2 tackles for loss, only 1 sack, but just him as a factor has proven to be a huge issue for teams so far.
And him being that leader on the Snider defense, it just shows up. I mean, the lead captain on their team, Dominic Moon, he coordinates that defense really well, and that's why they're arguably one of the best defenses in the SAC.
And here we go, kickoff, Homestead Snider, the 25th meeting between these two historic rivals, starting now. And a quick touchback to start things off. Carter Dixon, he has been fantastic this year in getting that ball in the end zone. Double-digit touchbacks in only 3 starts this year.
Carter Dixon, that's his specialty, and he's competitive with himself. He loves to try to get as many touchbacks as he can because hitting a team inside the 20-yard line is very, very important to start.
And here comes the Carroll offense, led by Luke Halpert, the quarterback, and running back Tyrese Brown. Those two, they are a tandem that is tough to beat in the backfield.
It's going to be very important for Homestead to continue their threat of stopping the run.
And right there, there's their first major stop on the running game. Evan Person was right there to make the stuff.
This Homestead defense, led by their front 6, they run 2 DNs, a nose tackle, and 3 linebackers. They all work so well together. It helps having big Johnny Waddell, number 59 in the middle, the nose tackle, clogging the middle, and then having Jackson Chrisman and Matt Miller on both sides of him.
Another handoff to the same side, and guess who's right there? Evan Person again. 2 plays, 2 tackles.
And Evan Person and Carter Coop, those are the outside linebackers. Those are the guys you want to look out for. They stalk the quarterback and the running back better than anyone in the SAC. Nothing ever gets by them. And then Max Schultz, the middle linebacker for Homestead, a great, great leader on the team, one of the best hype mans on the team, loves getting this team going.
First major third down for the Panthers in this game. They're 60.7% on third downs, and right there he made the completion just about 2 yards in front of the marker. And that's going to move the chains for Snider.
And a great route by Jordan Lee. Going up against Ethan Dorsey, just a quick comeback, easy first down for Snider, and they get to move the chains and get another attempt.
Snider, their offense can move so fast. Right now they're 5th in the SAC, 35.6 points per game. The fact that they're 5th in the SAC with those kind of stats shows the power of the conference, and here goes Tyrese Brown on a big run to the 45-yard line, finally stopped by Isaac Barkis, and that's the kind of power that Brown can bring to this offense.
And Aiden Pels and Caleb Hurt giving the big important blocks going down the left side, and he was just wide open, just not able to get past Ethan Dorsey, the corner, and Isaac Barkis, the last man standing safety.
The secondary for Homestead, a lot of teams have been able to really expose that secondary. Lures, for example. But when it comes to the running game, that's where Homestead seems to have their strong suit. or at least stopping the running game. Another run to the left side for Brown. Sheds a tackle, keeps moving, and finally knocked down at about the 37. Man, the way that he can move those legs and just keep driving, it's phenomenal what this senior can do.
And Tyrese Brown is a tank at 206 pounds. You see him just blow by Austin Keyser. That's just his size and physicality right there that you can't see anywhere else in the conference.
This team averages 350 yards per game on the ground, less than 100 through the air. They just love to give it to Tyrese Brown. So far, they've only had one pass play, and there's yet another run.
And that's going to move the chains again for another first down for the Snider Panthers. Just getting that gap in the middle. Great tackle by Carter Koob, picking up, coming from the left side all the way to the middle to make that tackle.
Carter Koob, the 6', 185 senior, he's always a factor for this team. 19 tackles, 4 tackles for loss heading into this game. It's tough to get by him at the outside linebacker spot. Play action, short throw, complete. Incomplete, it went right through his hands. Kamari Juarez thought he had it. 2nd and 10 coming up.
Almost a pretty easy play for Luke Harper, just thrown right in front of Kamari Juarez. That ball's completion, that could easily be a first down up the sideline as Homestead completely blew the coverage.
Homestead so far, Snider doing a pretty good job of running down the field on this Homestead defense. This is exactly what we saw last week against Dwenger, a methodical drive that ended in 6. There's another run by Tyrese Brown. Linebackers got to him.
This will be a 3-yard pickup.
Once again, it's the linebackers again. It's Evan Person and Carter Koob. If you're the coaches, you got to be thinking the linebackers, they can't do everything. At some point, the front 3, they've got to beat out this offensive line.
Tyler Dent coming in at wide receiver for Snider. He's over there on the far left side. 3rd and 7 for the Panthers. This time it's a throw and tipped and incomplete. Ethan Dorsey almost had the interception, and there is the first 3rd down stop of this game.
An incredible lurk coverage by Ethan Dorsey. You see, Harper was completely sold, and Dorsey just came in for the stop. What a play by Dorsey. And he has grown so much as a player over the season since getting his first start last week.
Yeah, he's a senior. He has been waiting for his opportunity to get in and get some significant minutes, and he's done a great job in the time that he has gotten. Got 5 tackles last week. And now Talamante's out to attempt the field goal for Snider. This one's a long bomb, 51 yards. Had the leg, but no good. Fantastic kick, though, by Talamantes to just get it all the way back there.
And that is something you don't see often in a high school football. You don't see people attempting 48, 51-yard field goals, but hey, if you've got the leg, you might as well try to get 3 points.
Especially on the first drive, you're just looking to set the tone. No reason to settle for a punt when there's plenty of time left. Might as well go attempt it, especially when you have somebody who has that leg like Talamantes does.
And the thought process was, hey, if the ball bounces into the end zone, they're at the 20-yard line anyway, so you might as well go for the kick.
Here comes the Homestead offense now. Jet sweep to Sparrow on the far side. Few jukes and brought down at about the 24.
Homestead loves running these option plays, especially with Gage Sparrow and Nate Anderson. Some of the stud wide receivers on Homestead coming across, tossing them the ball a couple times. Sparrow has gotten a couple touchdowns this season doing that exact play.
He was brought down by Caden Hurst and Nick Talamantes. Talamantes just refuses to leave the field after that field goal. Now he's out there at linebacker. Hand off to Fox, and he is stuffed about a yard in front of the line of scrimmage. And that's where the trouble really has been for Homestead in the last few games, the running game. Running backs just haven't been able to get things going, really during the Dwenger game as well, just nothing going.
And it's complete opposite of what we saw in the start of the season. Towards the start of the season, it looked like no running back on Homestead could get stopped, but teams have started to figure out this Spartan Hog offensive line.
Now Snider looking for the 4 with a 3 and out on Homestead's first drive, 3rd and 4. Defense looking to set a tone. Short throw complete to Schultz, and he is stopped about a yard in front of the line of scrimmage. Snider defense holding strong, but Homestead always willing to go for it on 4th down here.
And you see the read by Snider picking up the quick pass, stopping Homestead short, and now here comes the punt team for Homestead.
Coach Zolman not willing to risk going for it on 4th down. Homestead, a team that loves to go for it on 4th down. They convert 37.5% of the time, but not here, as they will send Carter Dixon out to boot it.
And I think after that great first drive by Snider's offense, you don't want to risk giving them the ball at the opposite 29.
Whistle's blown, and
Flag before the snap.
that's going to be a delay of game. They let that clock run all the way down.
And it will be a delay of game as Carter Dixon's going to have to walk back a couple more yards for this one. And now it's a 4th and 6. For sure a punt now for Homestead.
2 returners back there for Snider. Both Adorian Rogers and Kamari Juarez. Good snap. Punt over to about the 36. They will call the fair catch.
That punt had some airtime. Carter Dixon, he has a bootleg for a punter on Homestead. One of their many legs they have up on other teams is the special teams. Nate Anderson is a phenomenal return man. And then Carter Dixon and Cameron Jarrett get the job done at the punter and kicker position.
And there's a little confusion for me with 2 returners back there. There's always a chance for maybe a fake fair catch call that Snider could run. You don't normally see 2 returners out on the field. Snider may be looking to be a little tricky tonight when it comes to special teams. And now out comes the offense. Hand off to Brown. Breaks through the gap. Sheds a few tackles to midfield. He's still going. All the way down to the 44. What a run by Tyrese Brown.
Homestead's got to find a solution for Tyrese Brown. He's running all over them right now. Unbelievable. He sheds so many tackles. He goes right through that gap, breaks Carter Koo, breaks past Austin Keyser with force, and is finally brought down by 5 Homestead guys.
I mean, I counted 4 broken tackles there. Is this Tyrese Brown or Marshawn Lynch? I don't quite know anymore.
We've seen some comparisons. Sir Hale was our Derrick Henry comparison. This could be our Marshawn Lynch comparison.
There's a short pass to Kamari Juarez, and yeah, last time that we were on air, Sir Hale was a fantastic back, and right now Tyrese Brown, in my opinion, he's starting off this game even better than Sir Hale did.
And that's something crazy to say, as Sir Hale's part of that deadly 3-way attack for Bishop Lures that's helped them be the #1 team in the conference.
2nd and 8, another handoff to Tyrese Brown. Can't get past the D-line this time. Johnny Waddell served as a nice roadblock upfield. Now 3rd down for the Panthers.
Johnny Waddell, the big man, is able to get the quick stuff. He's stands at 6'6", has got some pretty long arms. You've seen him reach around the centers blocking him before quite a few times to make some tackles.
He's an absolute unit, like you said, 6'6", 380. Very tough to run by him up the gut. 3rd down, Snider opts to run and gets the 1st down. 3rd and medium, and they still decide to go ahead and run. There was a little late block by Demon Moore, but regardless, 1st down.
And this Snider offensive line is really doing the trick. That combined with Tyree Brown's speed is something that Homestead's got to find a solution for. And you see a lot of the problems with this Homestead defensive line versus the Snider offensive line is that if you watch, they are changing up who is at what position every single play, so you never know who's blocking where.
1st and 10, another handoff to Brown, and he is just so fast, breaks through the gap and gets about 5 yards on the run there.
And right there, he went right up the middle, and you could see the missing Johnny Waddell spot. Toriano Franklin is a great nose tackle, not quite the unit or the size of Johnny Waddell.
2nd and 5 now for Snider. Last time they were in Homestead territory, forced to attempt the 51-yard field goal That did not go their way. Play action throw complete on the near side to Kamari Juarez, and he breaks into the red zone. There's a first down for Snider. And they are inching closer and closer to the end zone.
And they're running a perfect offense right now. The best offense is when the defense has no idea what you're going to run. And they have a running attack and now a passing attack coming into play. Homestead, they've got to get this figured out. They have to start getting a little bit more relaxed and just breathing deep and getting into the game.
First and 30 feet for Snider. Another handoff to Tyrese Brown. He breaks free past the gap and to about the 10-yard line. He just refuses to be stopped at the line of scrimmage. He's going to gain yards one way or another.
And Demon Moore, the right tackle, just picks up some great blocks. You see him ride the screen, getting the block, allowing for Brown to get up. We've got to credit these offensive linemen a lot more because Tyrese Brown, although he's a unit, he is fast. This offensive line, though, is really helping him out better than any team in the SAC has been able to do this season.
2nd and 3. Another handoff to the outside, bounces in, and knocked down at about the 8-yard line. Isaac Barkus making the tackle.
Brown and Gery.
And Isaac Barkus and Evan Person, both of them together having to combine for the tackle to bring down Brown. That's the common theme we've seen on these tackles. It's taking multiple guys to bring down this running back.
3rd and 1, and they might go to Brown again here. He has been electric so far in the early goings of this game. Haven't heard much noise from the Homestead student section yet. Haven't had too much to cheer for, and there's the run to the outside, and he gets to about the 3-yard line. Move the chains again. 1st and goal for Snider.
If he hadn't been tripped up there by Keyser, he could have had a path to the end zone. Look, just going around, gets the block from his man, and just gets over there. Barkus with a trip-up tackle, putting them inside the 5.
1st and goal for Snider. Looking to score the first points of the game here. About 90 seconds left in the first quarter. Goal line offense, handoff to Brown. Pushing, and he is stuffed at the line of scrimmage. Max Schiltz got in there. The linebacker somehow breaking through that goal line offense.
In Homestead, they've got to find a solution, although it's a couple of yards. Look, he's just beasting through all of the players. It's taking so many guys to stop him. Keyser trying to pull the ball out. That might be the only solution at this point of getting the ball away from Tyrese Brown. He might just have to take it out of his hands.
Few subs for Snider. Kamari Juarez back in the game. He's out wide. Homestead acknowledging, not opting for the goal line offense. Play action, short throw, complete, touchdown. Carter Wortman with the completion, and Snider on the board first.
Homestead was caught off guard, and a great read by Luke Harper and a great play call by Coach Kirk Tippmann. Being able to read that play, Homestead was expecting a run from Tyrese Brown, but instead a short pass for an easy 6.
Carter Wortman, his 2nd touchdown of the season, and he helps Snider shed first blood in this heated rivalry matchup.
And things are expected to get a little bit chippy later in the game. The last few matches between Homestead and Snider haven't been the cleanest. Wouldn't surprise me just one bit.
Extra point good for Brian Peterson. And with that, Snider takes the lead 7-0 in the 25th meeting between these two. Homestead's time to react.
What limits you? Too small, too old, insecure, broken. You have no limits. Rethink your limits.
You don't plan on getting an injury, so why should you plan ahead to care for one? At Orthostat, you don't have to. Whether you get hurt on the job or on the field, or if you're experiencing sudden, localized pain, we fix the unexpected. Our walk-in clinics provide emergency access to a full range of diagnostic, non-surgical, and surgical treatments. And the best part is, there's never an appointment or referral needed. so you can get in, get out, and get going. Orthostat is recognized by Anthem and other insurance plans as an alternative to the ER.
Homestead looking to respond after Snider takes the 7-0 lead on their second drive of the game. It's capped off by a Halpert-Wortman connection in the end zone on the play action. Snider already showing off that offense, getting on the board. Oh, ball off the tee. A little windy out here on that weather forecast. We had a little weather icon signaling wind. Plays a small factor. They're booing the wind here.
No fans are excited to see some 1-mile-an-hour winds. Unacceptable in Dave S. Walters Memorial Stadium.
It's slowing down the game. They don't want that to happen. It's been a fast game so far, though. Only 46 seconds left of the first. Feels like it just kicked off. And there's the kickoff for Snider. And he doesn't get very far to about the 20-yard line. Sparrow not getting much ground there on the return, but here comes the Homestead offense.
A smart kick by Brian Peterson, just a small squib kick away from Nate Anderson. That seemed to be the play call. Just kick it to Gage Sparrow, a lot easier to tackle than the quick wideout Nate Anderson.
Yeah, these Panthers, they've been watching film. They know Anderson got himself a kickoff return last week. They don't even want to give him the chance today.
In the Spartan offense, they've got to respond here. Maybe one play, one touchdown. We've seen it before.
Play action tipped at the line of scrimmage. Caden Hurst getting his hand in the way.
For an incompletion.
And the pass intended for Isaac Barkus, unable to go through. Caden Hurst, pretty good stop there, getting the hand up the center, moving, or the defensive tackle, moving around, getting the hand up, blocking the pass.
That 6-foot frame, he's the shortest D line, but he can still get that paw up and make the swat. Second and 10 now.
It's pretty crazy thinking that 6 foot is the smallest frame on a defensive line.
Sure is. Handoff up the middle. Fox has some space to the 35. Sheds a tackle, spins away out to the 41. Brett Fox. First handoff of this drive, and he gains a whole lot of yardage.
And this is what I meant by just give him some space. You see great blocks, and he has a little bit of space to work with. A couple jukes, and he's gone for a quick 30-yard gain.
Brett Fox, he can do that to you. He gains his yardage in chunks, and right there, that was a huge chunk to get this drive chugging along.
You see the slots, Barkus and Schultz switch.
Adjusting to the defense, a little read option here, gives it to Fox, and he doesn't even get back to the line of scrimmage. Snider snuffed out the option all day long there.
And a great play by Amarian Moore, number 17 on the Snider team. He did not fall for that play at all, applying the pressure on Slavin, and then Fox forced him to go out of bounds.
With the speed option, it's you either read it or you don't, and if you read it, you can pretty much blow up the play just like that because you already got linemen down there.
Exactly. It's a 2nd and 12 now. We'll see if Coach Skelton, the offensive coordinator, elects to take a shot downfield.
Sparrow in motion, fake the jet sweep, handoff to Fox. Out to the near side, knocked down at the 43-yard line. And it looks like they're just going to let this clock roll down.
It's a 3-yard pickup, 3rd down
And a quick first quarter, thanks to a lot of running plays to Tyree Brown. Just kept the clock running nice and fast.
Methodical drives from both these teams results in a quick first quarter, but Snider leads 7-0. Both these two teams number 9 in each of their individual classes. Now we're going to go down to sideline reporter Karlie Flanagan, who's on the track.
Thanks, guys. And as you can see by looking behind me, there's a bunch of crowds here all wearing red. It doesn't even look like we're cheering for Spartans in blue and gold. And we're wearing red because we're wearing it for the children at Riley's Hospital. Right now, we're going to be having a Miracle Minute where we pass around the red Riley buckets and donations for a whole minute. By the end of the night, we will count our Miracle Minute total and hopefully raise at least $5,000. If we do raise $5,000, local Fort Wayne company, Fort Wayne Rocks, will match the donation that will give us a total of $10,000 for the kids. Last year, we raised over $4,000, so hopefully this year we can go even higher. If you go to www.dancemarathon.com, you can search up your favorite football player to donate to their fundraiser. If you would like to donate from home, the totals from the players tonight and their fundraisers goes to the children at Riley's Hospital. Brayden, back to you.
Thank you, Karlie. It's a proud tradition here at Dave S. Walters. Even the Snider fans dressed in red across the field. You can see them up there on your screen. Always been doing it here for now a pretty long time at the stadium. And everybody shows up every week to donate.
And it's a true take of sportsmanship by the Snider, wearing red along with Homestead. Both teams in unity together, although major rivals on the field, off the field, doing a great cause for the kids.
Certainly all class off the field between Homestead and Snider. 3rd and 9 to start off this quarter. Pressure coming. Short throw incomplete. In and out of the hands of Nate Anderson. Don't see that often from the Western Michigan commit. 4th down coming up.
And unusual, like you said, uncharacteristic, as he's coming across your screen on the in route, just drops the ball. Felt the pressure right behind him, but unable to come up with the ball.
Now Homestead forced to punt again. 2nd punt of the early stanzas of this game. Coach Harkness talking to Anderson on the sideline. He's been a fantastic wide receivers coach in his time with the Spartans. Low snap, punt going. It's a line drive, and it's going to take a nice Homestead bounce. Still recovered by Snider. A little dangerous there, but they'll take it upfield. And a solid return there by De'Aaron Rogers.
A bit of a collision on the pickup of the football, but De'Aaron Rogers making the smart play, bringing it up the field for an extra 10 yards.
Both of us were wrong there. It's a Dorian Rogers. I started that bad trend right there. 1st down now for Homestead, or for Snider. And last time they were out here, smooth, methodical drive all the way to the end zone.
And it didn't take much to bring themselves into the end zone. We'll see what happens now.
And off to Brown. Not much gain there, about 2 yards. They have been using him almost exclusively, other than on that touchdown and a few plays here and there for Snider on the last drive. He's been the entire offense so far.
A great read by Max Schultz on that last play. The captain running the defense at that middle linebacker position, bringing up the tackle for only a 2-yard gain for Tyree Brown.
Another handoff up the middle, and he is stuffed behind the line. Matt Miller making the tackle on the outside. Maybe Homestead starting to sniff out the game a little bit.
The all-SAC defensive end beats the blocker and is able to grab him around. Jackson Chrisman applied the pressure, and then Max Schultz finished up the tackle with Matt Miller and Jackson Chrisman.
3rd and 11. Whistle's blown. Ref point at the ball. No, actually, nose tackle needs to tie his shoes there.
And that's Matt Miller lining up at nose tackle for this play. A little bit of a change on the Homestead line.
Max Schultz, the captain middle linebacker, awaiting this 3rd and 11. Here's a pass for Snider. Halpert tucks it and runs. Improvisation here. Cuts up, and he is tackled about a yard in front of the 1st down marker. A little scramble going for enough.
And barely gets it. You see a little bit of hesitation, but the junior is able to find his way into the end zone before Austin Kieser comes in and brings him down with the tackle.
1st and 10 for Snider. Once again, they're just running it up. That was a 3rd down they got to right there. Nice and methodical. Already taking about a minute off the clock. That's exactly how this Panthers offense works. Hands off up the gut. New running back out there, and he gains some ground there. As that's Langston Level getting 1st down for Snider.
A new look for Snider, going with the new running back Lavelle and throwing the Homestead defense off. That's how it works, though. That's how Sniders like to roll. Just keeping the defense on their toes, not letting them know what's coming next.
1st and 10 now.
See Eben Person on the bottom of your scheme, going to bring a blitz.
There's another run, this time to the left side. Level knocked down. About 5 yards gained, even with their backup RB out there for the moment, they are still gaining solid amount of yardage in these small little chunks.
The Homestead defensive line might need to step it up a little bit. The linebackers who have played very well this first stretch of the season, they need to start reading the play a lot more, recognizing the gaps.
Blitz coming, still runs up the gut, and another first down. Got to about the 40. Snider just keeps chugging along.
And you see 63, Aiden Hells, he got the big block here on Carter Koob and Max Schultz, as well as number 77, Devin Moore, allowing for that first down to go through.
Evan Person finally made the tackle. He's been all over so far for Homestead. Been a huge roadblock from allowing Snider to get even bigger gains on the ground.
And Evan Person's a guy that can do it all. When he blitzes, he brings the pressure, but he's also a great pass blocker.
And there's the flag. Whole lot of offsides there. About 3 or 4 players jumped for Homestead. They were anticipating a snap. They were bringing the blitz, and they paid for it.
Slowly moving up, Snider ever so slowly burning away the clock tick by tick.
Hey, you know how they say, get the keys out because we're on a drive? Well, right now, Snider is on a drive.
Absolutely, but it's almost as if they're going in slow cruise control.
Still getting up there, even though they're only at about 45 miles per hour. There's another gain by Level.
And great read by Evan Person, he's just been all over the place. You see him get that first contact, then Jackson Chrisman brings up the rear for no gain.
Chrisman at the end, he's a force to be reckoned with. 6 sacks this season. I mean, when he's going up against the air raid, very tough to stop him with the pass blocking. There's another big gain. First down for Snider.
Max Schultz, you see him coming off the field for Jacob Scavo, and he's a force to be reckoned with. You talk about Homestead's linebackers having a great linebacker core. Well, there's a fourth guy that doesn't play as much as the other 3, and his name's Jacob Scavo, and what a guy he is. He hits really hard.
There's a short pass complete on the far sideline. Kamari Juarez. Looked like the whole entire D-line was anticipating run there.
And you see Scavo, once again, who just came into the game, getting the hit tackle, knocking him out of bounds. Scavo, he's a guy you can't take your eyes off of. Coming in as a backup linebacker, but also a starting linebacker. Like I said, 4 guys, and he can really affect the offense.
2 men deep for Homestead. Run up the gut again by Level. Sheds a tackle, and finally brought down inside the red zone. Snider once again breaking deep into Homestead territory.
And Level playing just like his counterpart, Tyrese Brown, just doing such effective, and now into the red zone, Snider goes, threatening Homestead once again.
Level 6'3", 197. Tough to bring down at that stature, especially when you have the speed of Level. You think at other schools he could start, and he is an even bigger force when you're tired of Brown, in comes Level. And this time, he is stuffed behind the backside of his lineman. Doesn't gain much there.
Jackson Chrisman and Kyle Detweiler were the guys bringing him down. Kyle Detweiler, number 7 on your screen. He's been playing a lot closer to the ball, normally plays in that strong safety spot, back a little bit, but he's been on the ball. He's been on the running back a lot so far this game. A little bit of change of pace for this Homestead defense.
Kyle Detweiler statistically doesn't make much sound, but man, he flies around the field, always a force. Is right there. Flies in to help out with the tackle. He's just always trying to do extra work on the field.
And it's those people that don't get many stats that really make the big difference. This is Kyle Detweiler, Jacob Scavo, Austin Keyser, and Eben Person. They're all over that backfield, helping out the secondary and the front guys.
Now a 3rd and 1. They'll need that secondary and the front guys to make a stop here deep in their own territory. Snider looking to take a 2-score lead. Hands off to Brown, back in, and he scores! Touchdown, Snider, and they extend their lead to double digits.
And Brown is just a beast. You see him bringing them. Snider brings Brown back into the game. just for this last end zone drive, and this is exactly why. He is just so powerful, gets the perfect amount of blocks, and just goes right up the middle, sheds a tackle from Austin Keyser to make it into the end zone.
And how about Halper? It looks like he took the snap to the wrong side, still was able to make the handoff successfully to Brown. Great improvisation from that whole team. Extra point up, little lobber, but it goes in. And Snider, double-digit lead, 5 minutes left in the second quarter. Panthers controlling the game.
What limits you? Too small, too old, insecure, broken. You have no limits. Rethink your limits.
Looking at some scores around the SAC right now. Whole lot of zeros and a whole lot of early leads for teams. That includes here where Snider leads 14-0. Also, Carroll 14-0 over Bishop Dwenger. That's a huge game to look out for. Right now, Carroll commanding lead.
That's 2 3-1 teams in the SAC sitting in that top 4. Carroll's offense is so dominant with Jeff Becker leading the haul. It's going to be tough for Bishop Dwenger to stop Jeff Becker, and you can see already down 14.
Going back to this game, high kickoff for the Panthers, and that's going to turn into a touchback. Anderson, he really wanted to return that one. High school rules won't let him in the end zone, though. Solid kickoff there by Peterson.
I'm not the most, I'll say this from a broadcaster standpoint, I'm not the happiest with that rule existing. It doesn't give the returner enough of a chance. I mean, calling a fair catch, but you can see Anderson really wanted a chance at the return to bring that down the field.
You just want to see Anderson. You just want to see him get some returns. And he can. I mean, he has some burners, especially on the kickoff game.
He's fun to watch.
There's a little odd throw there. Fake hands-off, fake read option, and nice little gain by Sparrow, but a flag called. I may have saw possible block in the back, late hit, something on Nate Anderson.
You can see all the cameras faked out by the fake running play, a smart play. It's the quick pitch to Gage Sparrow. He gets a lot of short receptions a game.
And yeah, Nate Anderson, a little late push there. And that's what's going to be a block in the back on Nate Anderson, and that's going to take that great play about 15 yards back.
In this second quarter, and with this second quarter drive, we'll see, do you expect Slavin to throw the ball a lot more, not really getting as much of the chance to sling the ball as much on those first couple of drives?
And because that blocking the back penalty happens at the spot of the foul, essentially we're right back to 1st and 10. Literally nothing changed. It's almost like a little do-over. Except the clock's gone a tiny bit.
Just a tiny bit. And I think Snider, they've learned their lesson from the past couple of matchups with Homestead, where they got off to an early lead and then the Spartans were able to march back. You can tell they're trying to run down the clock quite a lot this game.
Both teams really taking their time on their individual drives. 1st and 10 for Homestead again after the offensive penalty. Outside handoff to Brett Fox, and he is stuffed in the backfield. Snider defense all over that one. Jacob Stetka, the senior, making the tackle.
Jacob Stetka, he has 6 tackles on the season, 6'2", 206 pounds, with a similar frame to his counterpart, Tyrese Brown, able to make that tackle for a loss of 1.
2nd and 11, shotgun pass complete on the far sideline. Nate Anderson with a solid catch.
And there's the connection. Peyton Slavin to Nate Anderson. See the ball, Peyton Slavin calm in the pocket, unleashes it downfield, and Slavin reached up his 2 hands to tiptoe along the sideline and make the catch.
Homestead speeding up a little bit here on offense, maybe looking for a score to end the first half. Screen to Sparrow complete, running to the near side. He is leveled by big number 29, DJ Sanders. His helmet came off. That's how hard that hit was.
DJ Sanders laying it all out on Gage Sparrow. Just, big hit.
That's a WWE
all the way around.
move.
RKO tackles. He's going to have to take a little bit of a rest as his helmet comes off on that play, but worth it for that big tackle.
Looks like they're going to call a timeout and let him stay out there.
Timeout called by Snider.
A timeout by Snider. 3:37. So far, Snider, they have controlled this game. They've been shutting down Homestead on offense, and really, their offense, not only is it moving down the field efficiently, but nice and slow, taking time off the clock. And now Homestead on this last drive, they have to move fast.
And Homestead, if you're Coach Zolman, you've got to be thinking, do we go down fast as we can, score to keep some clock on the board, or do we take our time, burn a little bit of clock, score right before halftime, then get the ball back and score again to tie this game up?
And yeah, they really have to consider moving faster on this drive. You only have 3:37 left, and you have about 55 yards to go until you reach the end zone. It's crazy. I can talk about how fast this game has moved. We're only 40 minutes past kickoff, and we're already nearing halftime.
If you know this Homestead offense, you know that one of these big plays should be expected. As you see, DJ Sanders is going to have to come out of the game regardless of the timeout for his helmet coming off. But like I was saying, these deep passes to Nate Anderson, expect it. Anderson, he's at the top of your screen right now, right on the numbers. Watch out for him on a deep pass.
2nd and 5, and right here, 2nd and medium, this is exactly where they would send Anderson on a deep route.
We've seen it a couple times already at about the 40 to 45-yard line, just slinging it deep and letting Anderson catch it in stride for a touchdown.
Peyton Slavin certainly has the arm strength for it. They'll opt for an outside handoff with Fox instead, and he gets to about midfield.
He'll be tackled inbounds.
And
But he does pick up the
we're
first
going to
down
let
for
the chains
Spartans.
move.
And a big first down for Brett Fox. He knows where he has to go. He knows he has to get to the 50-yard line to get the little bit more ease on the drive. Takes a big hit, but stays alive from Santiago Ortiz.
Clock keeps rolling, though. About 3 minutes left. 1st and 10, now in Snider territory. Play action, throw to Anderson, over the head and incomplete. Pressure was coming, but he could not stay cool in the pocket that time.
Slavin got a little bit giddy on that pass. This is Dominic Moon, the inside linebacker, the Purdue commit out of Snider, applying the pressure on Slavin, causing him to just yank the ball out as fast as he could before he got laid out by Moon.
This conference so familiar with Dominic Moon. Last year he was all SAC, and you just had to watch out for him anytime he was on the field. 2nd and 10. Slavin drops back quick. Dot complete to Max Schultz at about the 33-yard line. And he says, hey, move those chains.
And although Max Schultz plays almost every offensive snap for Homestead, that's only his 2nd reception on the season. And it's a big reception, a deep pass caught in coverage against Santiago Ortiz.
It's a great catch there with pressure coming towards him. 1st and 10, outside handoff to Fox again. Cuts upfield, knocked down at the 50-yard line. Spinned around by number 7, Quincy Might.
And Fox, this is the design running play that they like Fox to run, going to the outside, giving him a little bit of space, and he makes it all the way up to the 29.
Brett Fox, he is a leading rusher on this team despite not being the starter. Des Smith Jr. out along with Cam Johnson. Those are running backs 1 and 2, so he's been getting ample time lately. 2nd and 6, Sparrow in motion. They'll do the sweep to the near side, and he's knocked out of bounds.
Sparrow on the carry.
They will mark him down. Refs trying to get through
He'll be tackled
to
out
make
of
the
bounds.
call. They'll say it's about
Right around
the
30-yard
24.
line, or the 25-yard line.
And Gage Sparrow not able to get the first down. Another motion play to Gage Sparrow's Grant Heyer getting a block. Brett Fox getting a block, but it's just not enough to get to the first down. Look for a short pass or a running play here for Homestead just to get the first down.
Minute 45 left in the 2nd quarter. 3 timeouts left. Homestead plenty of time. Hand off to Fox on the halfback draw, and he is stuffed at the line of scrimmage. Nowhere to go. Lucas Rohrbacher making the tackle.
And they're going to give it to Homestead for the first down. Fox having a little bit of space to work with, runs in to Lucas Rohrbacher, but barely able to get enough for the first down.
Minute 17. Clock still rolling as Homestead continues with these run plays. 1st and 10, 4 wide receivers out wide. Slavin improvises, scrambles, heads to the near side, and knocked down, or knocked out, I should say, at about the 18-yard line. And there's his abilities to improvise again, showing.
There's an injury down on the field.
It's number 55. That's a big loss.
Jacob
for Snider.
Stedka, the defensive tackle, we saw him make a big play earlier in this game, and now he's down holding his right leg.
Senior leader on this team seems to be in a good amount of pain. We're going to take a break real quick. Snider up 14-0, minute left. Snider leads 14-0. As for the Panthers, man gets up. And looking at some scores in the SAC, Carroll, they lead right now 21-0 over Bishop Dwenger. They just keep extending that lead in what is a crucial game for the conference.
Bishop Dwenger, there were a lot of questions about the talent on Bishop Dwenger. They looked really strong in their first 3 games of the season. However, those were against the 3 bottom teams in the SAC. And then they played Homestead last week. They held their own for a little bit of the game, but for the most part struggled against Homestead. Now there was a big question: what will they do? What will they change to go against Carroll this week? And so far, it doesn't look like much.
Bishop Lures up 21-3 over Northside. Wayne 16-6 over the Archers, and Northrop 7-0 over Concordia. Not many surprises around the conference. Now let's get back to this game. Homestead looking for a touchdown here before the half with a minute left. Fake the handoff, read option, lost the ball and recovered by Snider. An absolute disaster. They attempted a play that they were going for earlier, and that one, an absolute failure. Isaiah Maxwell with the recovery.
And just like that, a little bit of confusion. It looks like Peyton Slavin was going to throw it out to Gage Sparrow, just slipped out of his hands. Unbelievable, and it looked like it was going to be a score touchdown for Homestead going into the half. Now turns out to be Snider's chance to possibly take a 3-possession lead going into the half.
And man, Snider, they snuffed out that fake read option screen that Homestead attempted earlier in the game, and it worked that time. Not this time, though. They were all over it. Isaiah Maxwell making that fumble recovery and bringing the pressure. Now Snider out there. Another solid run by Tyrese Brown. As we inch closer to halftime, that is one thing that certainly Homestead has to improve on, stopping the running game.
Absolutely. I mean, if they don't stop this running game, they're not going to be able to do much. But, however, going into halftime, Homestead has seen some really big improvements on defense over the course of halftimes against Bishop Lures. They gave up 35 points in the first half against Bishop Lures, and then they went into halftime. Captain Max Schultz gave a big speech, and then coming out, they let up only 3 points until that final heroic drive.
Another handoff to Brown, and he just keeps moving. First down.
So pick up a first down for the
Snider
Panthers.
might just let the clock run out here, and for the first time all season long, Homestead will be shut out through one half of play.
And that's just unusual. A lot of it has to do with not much time being left on the clock for Homestead to work with. But another big part is Snider's defense is just not letting anything happen for Homestead.
Snider just controlling every facet of the game so far, up 14-0 over the Snider Panthers. And now we're going to go down to the sideline with Karlie Flanagan, who's with Coach Zolman.
Thanks, Brayden. Coach, it's been a fast game with Snider running the clock and in the first half. What do you think we have to do to adjust to keep the Panthers off the field in the second half?
We're going to figure out how to play defense, get off, and so on offense too. Just got to clean some things.
Okay, thank you. Back to you, Brayden.
Thank you, Karlie. Certainly a lot of improvement is the goal for Coach Zolman after that half. Certainly not proud of it. And we're going to take a quick break. Snider up 14-0 after 24 minutes of play.
What limits you? Too small, too old, insecure, broken. You have no limits. Rethink your limits.
Marco's Pizza, located at 10345 Illinois Road, inside the shops of Scott Road. Marco specializes in pizza, subs, and more. Order online at marcos.com or by phone at 625-6800. Thank you, Marcos, for supporting the Point 91 FM and being a proud sponsor of Homestead Media's athletics coverage.
Welcome to the OPS halftime report. Snider up 14-0. They have controlled this game so far, forcing Homestead to their first shutout through one half of play all season long. An offense that is usually high-powered and always moving downfield has not been able to do anything so far.
And that's for sure. We talked about the Snider defense a couple times throughout the season. I know on our Around the SAC talk show on Friday mornings, we talked about how the Snider defense is really good, but they underperformed expectations a little bit at the start of the season, but boy, are they showing up tonight in their biggest game of the year against rival Homestead.
When we look at who has been the stars of the game so far, in my mind, there's two guys. Number 6, Tyrese Brown, and number 77, DJ Moore, because those two, man, the way that they have been functioning so far, Tyrese Brown, he has been hitting that right side so much, DJ Moore being the right tackle. Excellent job by the running game. And now we're going to go down to the field to join the Spartan Alliance Band and their performance of This Is Sparta. More of the OPS halftime show in a little bit.
The show's music features Wine Dark Sea by John Mackey, The Battle from the movie Gladiator by Hans Zimmer, and Gangsta's Paradise by Coolio featuring LB. The Spartan Alliance Band is a 6-time BOA Grand National Championship finalist, 6-time ISMA State Marching Band champion, and a consistent state finalist in concert, jazz, winter guard, and winter percussion. The Homestead Band program has received numerous state and national recognition over the past 50 years, including the prestigious International Sugler Shield Award. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you for your halftime entertainment, the Homestead Spartan Alliance Band. ladies and gentlemen, the Spartan Alliance Band.
That was the Spartan Alliance Band's performance of This Is Sparta. Great performance, a whole lot of emotion from the This Is Sparta performance to the saxophone solo to actually hearing them say This Is Sparta. It's a great performance, and that's why this band is one of the best in the nation.
This band is something unlike any other, one of the best in the state for sure, and in the country for that, placing well at nationals and state every single year.
And now we're going to look at some scores around the SAC, where a whole lot of blowouts is what I'm seeing, Anthony. All across the board, Carroll, Lures, Wayne, and Northrop handling their games.
And this is no surprise, except for maybe Wayne looking to get their first win of the season, dominating Southside, who's coming off of missing a week from COVID. And now Carroll blowing out Bishop Dwenger. At this point, I don't see a way Bishop Dwenger can come back against that elite offense. Bishop Lures almost shutting out Northside except for a field goal. Not very surprising. And then Northrop taking the edge over Concordia.
And with Lures up 28-3. We've seen teams come back down 28-3 before. I don't think it's going to happen again. If you know what I mean.
Last time I checked, unfortunately for the Northside Legends, they do not have the legend himself, Tom Brady, out playing quarterback for their team. So it's not likely that they'll come back against the best team in the SAC.
And how about Carroll Dwenger? So I predicted 56-20 on the radio around the SAC. I just want to Noah Johansmeyer, the play-by-play for radio, to know. Read him and weep. 56-20, and it looks like we're on pace for exactly that. Now let's look at some first half stats between Snider and Homestead. And right now, really what everybody's talking about is the ground game. Less than 30 carries, 171 yards. They're taking so much time off the clock. I know we don't show time possession, but I mean it's so in favor of the Panthers. It's insane. They're dominating this game. Homestead hasn't even hit 100 total yards.
And the Snider defense, they're getting the job done, keeping Homestead at only 93 total yards. And Homestead, they haven't really gotten much of an attempt to even get the ball much, of course, because Snider's running down the clock. I'd love to see a time of possession graph right here, because at this point, it'd be 80% in Snider's favor.
Now you look at third down conversions, 1 and 3 for Homestead, and then Snider 4 of 6. They've just been able to find their way down the field, making it through those tough situations on third down, and it's been paying dividends.
And so far this game has been pretty clean. Only 1 turnover for Homestead right there at the end of the half, and 0 turnovers for Snider. That's been huge. The ball has just been completely protected by Tyrese Brown in his hands. Homestead, they've made so many efforts to strip the ball up, but he's holding on to that thing like it's his own baby.
Now we're going to look at some news in the SAC. It's been quite the eventful couple days in the conference. First off, some new turf announcements. By 2024, Wayne, Southside, and Northside will get themselves some of that nice artificial turf. Bishop Lures will be the only remaining school without that nice commodity.
And with those 3 teams getting turf by 2024, I expect Bishop Lures will probably be soon to follow, especially after the success that their team has pulled this year.
And talk about success, that next headline, Lures, they're ranked #1 in the Class 2A AP poll, and they remain the only undefeated team in the Summit Athletic Conference. The success that Bishop Lures has had, which can be traced back to last year, really the last 10 years if we're being honest, but last year they made it all the way to the state finals, and now just continuing that success.
And their historic program out throughout the 80s and the 90s dominated Fort Wayne football back when Homestead was a little farm school. And now in Bishop Lures, they seem to be back to what they used to be, #1 team in 2A. Honestly, if you put them in 4A, they could be the #1 team there too.
Bishop Lures, I mean, they've been beating teams in higher classes. They beat Homestead here at Dave S. Walters Memorial Stadium. They beat Carroll. They have been such a successful team this year and historically. And then finally, Northrop guard Jalen Jackson commits to the University of Illinois Chicago, the university that his mom went to and played basketball. He's a transfer from Carroll, going to Northrop now, and now he knows where he's going after Northrop.
Jalen Jackson, he was someone who almost single-handedly beat the undefeated Homestead Spartans last year in that close game. Only a 5-point win for Homestead going to Carroll in that rivalry matchup. Jalen Jackson played so well in that game. Now he's transferred over to the Northrop Bruins side, and we'll get to see him again this year. Just one more year of action. See if he rips at Homestead again this year.
And knowing how we play, he's going to be a massive success for the Flames. UIC, they got one great player, and that was your news in the SAC. And we're going to take a quick break, but stay tuned. Snider leads 14-0 as halftime, about to wrap up.
Rethink your limits.
Welcome back to the OPS Halftime Show as the homecoming king has been announced. Brant Irving, we just saw him perform on the Spartan Alliance Band. Take a bow, Brant. You are the homecoming king. Big congrats to the senior.
And the student section went crazy for Brant, as they should. So exciting to see him win the homecoming crown.
And then Mikkel Alston, the winner of the homecoming queen. The cheerleader. Those are both two individuals who have been active during this game. Brant on the field during halftime and Mikkel on the track throughout this game. Big congrats to both Mikkel and Brant.
And both leaders in their respective positions at Homestead High School. Mikkel, a lead cheerleader on that team, and then of course Brant Irvin, one of the biggest names in Homestead Spartan Alliance Band.
And look at Brant, he's taking handshakes over there. Mikkel posing with her mother, Dr. Ginder, talking to the new king of the court. Brant, big moment for him.
Last year's homecoming king, Donnie McGardle, and queen, Amber Austin.
And we're going to go down to the sideline with Karlie Flanagan, who is with the homecoming king, Brant Irvin.
Congratulations, Brant. How does it feel that you won?
It's pretty surreal. I have not really won anything this major in a long while, so it's really an honor to be up here with everybody else and in general get to experience such a majestic thing. And the support that everyone's giving me is amazing.
Congratulations and good luck. Have a fun night with your king crown. Brayden, back to you.
Thank you, Karlie. A majestic moment for Brant after a majestic performance of This Is Sparta. And got to be happy with how it's gone. Big homecoming. And Brant Irvin holds the crown. Mikkel holds the princess crown, or the queen crown now, I should say.
And how about Brant Irvin winning homecoming king, one of the first band members in over a decade to win the crown for the Homestead's homecoming king.
And I'm sure that band, they're not on the field right now. The cheerleaders conversing on Mikkel, but if the band was out on the field, I tell you, they would storm it. They'd have to take him off the field. And we're going to go down to sideline reporter Karlie Flanagan, who's with the homecoming queen, Mikkel Alston.
Congratulations, Mikkel. How does it feel that you won?
It feels great. You know, I just love the energy and everything.
I see that you're crying. Was it just an amazing accomplishment to have?
Yes, I was like very shocked that I was going to win, so all the tears just kept rolling down my face. So that's great.
It was well deserved. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Brayden, back to you.
Thank you, Karlie. That's a big win for Mikkel. How about Mikkel? How about Brant? Gotta be proud of those two as we're getting ready for kickoff.
And they shake hands together. The king and the queen getting their pictures for the yearbook, for the newspaper, for everyone. So exciting for all those guys, for the guy and girl.
Now going to the field. Kickoff coming up. Snider leads 14-0. Homestead gets the ball first, looking to crack this game open somehow and find themselves back in the game.
And now switching back to football, we'll see if Nate Anderson can take this back or if Snider does the smart move and once again squib kicks it over to the Gage Sparrow side of the field.
Snider looking to knock off Homestead again here at Dave Walters, just like Lures did 2 weeks ago. And he'll let this one sail into the air, into the arms of Nate Anderson. And they'll let him return this one. And he breaks about to the 25. If he had a little more field to work with, he might have been gone, but he was pushed to the sideline.
Questionable call by the ref for sure, as Nate Anderson's back foot was in the end zone, but a great return nonetheless, bringing it all the way up to the 25-yard line, just down the sideline. If he had a couple more inches, he could have been gone all the way to the end zone again.
First down for Homestead. Looking to get on the board somehow. A little movement up there on the line. Refs will let go on. Play clock running down to 5. Snap, play action, dart downfield, incomplete, in and out of the hands of Sparrow. And that's yet another drop for these Homestead receivers.
And a drop for Gage Sparrow and a drop for Nate Anderson is something you don't see often. Slavin with the questionable play call, throwing it into triple coverage, but you don't see Gage Sparrow drop passes very often. Same with Nate Anderson, but it's already happened twice this game.
If you look down at the score bit, you might be a little confused as to why both teams are ranked number 9. It's Fox, it's about 3 yards on that carry, but Homestead and Snider, they were both 6A last year. But Snider, due to not having much success in the last 2 years, they have been brought down to 5A. But here in Class 5A, with only one loss, they're finding some success. They've cracked the top 10, and just coincidentally, both are at number 9.
Very much of a coincidence. A little bit confusing for sure. It looks like Snider, the number 9 5A team, is taking care of Homestead, though, the number 9 6A team.
Yeah, tight window on that throw. Complete. Grady Swing making the catch. Dangerous throw, but it's complete and the chains move.
Grady Swing comes in the game every now and then. The backup slot wide receiver staying in the game. Had a big 4th down conversion against Northrop.
Is that deep bomb to Grady Swing incomplete? Looking for him again on that target. Peyton Slavin, he hasn't gotten much. We actually talked about this a little bit during halftime. He hasn't gotten many opportunities to really sling it downfield, and there was one opportunity there.
It's the ball a little bit overthrown. If he connects with Swing and stride, could have had it.
2nd and 10, man in motion. Schultz fake the jet sweep, handoff up the middle of Fox. And he is chopped down by number 7 from the secondary, Quincy Myatt, making the tackle.
And that's going to set up a 3rd and 2 for the Spartans. If the play call is likely going to be the common play call, handing off to Brett Fox and hoping and praying he can get 2 yards for the first down.
3rd and 2 for Homestead. Sparrow in motion, jet sweep, Snider's over there, he is knocked down. Quincy Myatt making the tackle around the ankles. 4th down, forced by the Panthers.
And with the way Snider is running their offense, burning off the clock, they might need to go for it as a late flag is thrown on the sideline.
That is a fundamental tackle there by Quincy Myatt. Use that little laundry over on the near side. Refs discussing with Coach Zolman.
Looked like Zolman wanted a penalty.
Spartan players are
They
moving
flag on the play, after the play.
after the play, so that fundamental, beautiful tackle by Quincy Myatt will stand. Unsportsmanlike conduct on Homestead.
It looks like that one might be on the Spartan bench as the refs threw it right there on the sideline. That's going to force that unsportsmanlike conduct by the sideline is going to force Homestead to punt it instead of getting the chance to go for it.
Yeah, that's a big mistake for the sideline. 15 yards back.
Still fourth down.
They're way back, all the way to their own 28-yard line. Like you said, that pretty much takes them out of the opportunity to go for it as Dixon and the Spartan O forced to punt.
Homestead needs a big booming punt here and maybe a little bit of luck to go with that.
And that one's a little spinner in the air, but it goes nice and far. Returnable for Snider, and they'll take it upfield to about the 45 before he is finally knocked down. Solid return by Kamari Juarez, but a great punt by Carter Dixon to get Snider still in their own territory.
And now Snider at the 46-yard line, they have a chance to run down some clock. They did in the first half, and it's likely going to be the similar play call again. Just run down the clock, run down the Homestead defense, and there's not much you can do.
First and 10 for Snider to start off this drive. They have looked absolutely phenomenal so far. Only put up 14 points, but it doesn't really tell the whole story. They'll throw here. Haven't seen many throws from this Snider offense so far, but that one, solid gain by Kamari Juarez.
Just short of a first down at the 45-yard line, setting up a 2nd and 1. And it took Max Schiltz shoving the back of Aaron Wagner to knock Wari Schwartz out of bounds.
2nd and 1 for Snider. They're now in Homestead territory where they have had ample success when they're in Homestead territory, 2 of 2 on getting in the end zone. Hand off to Brown, and this time Homestead sniffs the run out exactly where it tried to get going.
Now is Big Johnny leading the way, pushing some guys along with him, bringing Matt Miller, Jackson Chrisman, and a string of linebackers to make the pushback of 1 yard, setting up a 3rd and 2.
Snider talking it out here before the snap. Big 3rd and 2, looking to convert and keep this drive alive. Man in motion in the backfield. Hands off up the gut to Brown. Bounces to the outside, and he is brought down.
Brown, the ball carrier.
Big tackle.
Hit by a ton of Spartans.
Isaac Barkis finishing that one.
And look at Brown, just the ability to stay up, finally brought down by Isaac Barkis. The ball came out just slightly on the finish, and now Snider's going to have to punt away a big defensive stop for Homestead.
Here comes Nicholas Talamantes to make the tackle. Related to Anton Talamantes, a successful college wrestler at Ohio State.
Isaac Barkis is in the backfield to return the kick. We've seen him return a couple pretty far this season.
Low snap, and that is a little spinning punt like Dixon had. Snider's special teams, their gunners were all over that. Isaac Barkis had no choice but to signal for a fair catch. And here comes the Homestead offense again, looking for better results than last time, where a chance at a 4th down conversion possibly was completely taken out of the equation by an unsportsmanlike.
And I cannot say it enough. Coach Skelton, the offensive coordinator, needs to let Slavin unleash the ball downfield at least once. And when I say unleash the ball, I don't mean down the sideline to Grady Swing. I mean over the middle on a post route to Nate Anderson.
1st and 10 for Homestead on this drive, back in their own territory. Shotgun snap. Short throw complete to Sparrow. Cuts upfield to the right hash. Still moving. Still chugging along and knocked down at about the 32. Solid gain by Gage Sparrow on the little screen.
And Gage Sparrow is so good at those short routes, 5 to 10 yards. I always say this, 5 to 10 yard routes. That one just a little bit behind the line of scrimmage, but he can run. He's so small and agile in that sense. Against Dwenger, he had 5 receptions for only 44 yards, but that's just what his specialty is.
There's another little throw, this time to Max Schultz. It's about 2 or 3 yards.
2-yard gain. 2nd down and 8.
Schultz crashed into Santiago Ortez there. Schultz, he does not get as much action on offense as he does on defense, but he's always there opening up the gaps for Gage Sparrow usually.
7 minutes left in the third. Snider up 14-0. 4 wide receivers out for Homestead. Swing in motion, fake the sweep, hand off to Fox up the gut, and he is stuffed by Lucas Rohrbacher, making the tackle.
Carrier.
Brett Fox with nowhere to go. This Homestead offensive line just looks tired at this point. They've got to start getting going. They've got to open these gaps so Homestead can really use the run game a lot more, because right now the only game that seems to be working are these short passes.
3rd and 5 as the lights on here at Davis Walters. Homestead needs something, anything, to get some energy back on their sideline and on their offense. 4 wide receivers. Snider anticipating pass, completes his swing at the 45 and knocked down at the 41-yard line, and that's the exact kind of big play that Homestead needed to get some energy.
And finally, the student section's getting a little bit loud. They've been pretty quiet all game long, as there hasn't been much, but finally a big play. Grady's swing going into triple coverage, brought down.
Throw complete to Nate Anderson.
Complete to Nate Anderson.
And Homestead driving down the field for the first time all game long.
And they're running some hurry up, just knocking on the door of the red zone. They've got to get going.
Last time they were this close, it resulted in a Slavin fumble. But they are looking for better results here and to get on the scoreboard. This is the longest time that they have gone without a score since a long time ago. And there's the pass complete to Anderson. Touchdown, Homestead. The Spartans are on the board. Quick little post to Anderson in the end zone.
And finally, the connection is there between Slavin and Anderson. We've been waiting for it, and Slavin with a beautiful pass, fitting it right past the defenders. You see the pressure comes on Slavin. The offensive line does their job, lets him be nice and protected, and right in the gap, beating out Nicholas Talamontes for the touchdown.
Carter Dixon out there to attempt the point after. Cameron Jarrett playing a soccer game just across from the student section side of the field. Carter Dixon makes that extra point, and Homestead hits the board. Snider still up 14-7, but the Spartans ready to make this a game again.
What limits you? Too small, too old, insecure, broken. You have no limits. Rethink your limits.
Looking at some scores in the SAC, outside of this one, Carroll, hey, my prediction's looking so good right now. 35-7 at half. How about them Chargers? And how about them Bishop Lures Knights up 35-9. Northrop up 14-0. Wayne Southside close game over there.
And that's a big, close game. Wayne and Southside usually at the bottom of the conference. That might be the game right now between Wayne and Southside. Who's not going to finish last in the conference?
Wayne, of course, the only winless team in the SAC. Southside got their win against Northrop earlier this year. Go back to this game now. How about Carroll, though, 35-7 over Dwenger. No, Joe Hansmeyer got to be disappointed in how his prediction's going compared to mine right now. And there's a boot by Carter Dixon. That was way back there in the end zone.
Gorgeous kick, and I mean gorgeous, by Carter Dixon with the wind all the way to the back of the end zone, unreturnable.
And you gotta love him on the sideline over there. You can't see him, but he gets pumped. I mean, he asks for a fist bump from about everybody. He is one of the more energetic special teamers that Homestead has had.
And he's there to do his job, kick his booming kicks, make his field goals, kick his extra points, and the job is done.
He's still out there asking for high fives. He is still running around. 1st and 10 for Snider. Handoff up the gut, and he doesn't gain much there. About 2 yards for Tyrese Brown. Johnny Waddell down there at the bottom of the pile.
This is a brand new defense than we saw in the first half. It's Johnny Waddell. He's getting blocked, but gets in there, pushes him down. It's the pancake to submit the tackle.
2nd and 7 for Snider. Tyrese Brown, the running back. We've seen not only Tyrese Brown out there, but we have also seen number 9 for Snider. Langston Lee will get some time. There's a short pass complete to Juarez, and he gets to about the 30-yard line.
And it looks like they're going to mark him just short of the first down, setting a 3rd and inches. Luke Harper has played a phenomenal game so far. He's doing his job, just making these short, complete passes and letting his wide receivers and running back do their job.
3rd and 1 now for Snider, looking for the conversion, while Homestead looking for a big 3 and out. Gain even more momentum than what they just gained on that touchdown drive last time the offense was out. Hand off to Tyrese Brown. He gets up for the first down, still moving, finally knocked down by Matt Miller and a crowd of Spartans. 1st and 10, though, regardless.
Goes up the middle. We saw this a lot in the first half, but this Homestead defense is looking a lot better. Matt Miller, Austin Keyser, and Edmund Person getting to the tackle early and working together to bring down the big boy, Tyron Brown.
1st and 10. Hand off to Tyrese Brown. Bounces to the outside, now the inside, and he gets to about the 43. Man, Tyrese Brown, the way that he can move at 206 pounds, 6'1",
2nd down and 3.
it's unbelievable.
You said it earlier in the game, he's like Marshawn Lynch, but how about his blocks that he's getting from his guys? Carter Wortman, the tight end, just stuffing Austin Keyser, not even letting him get a play.
Homestead's defense looking for a stop. 2nd and 3. Fakes the handoff, play action, deep bomb to Juarez. Caught! Big connection between Halpert and Juarez. 1st down for Snider, and they are in the red zone just like that.
And the mismatch with Aaron Wagner. He so much covers the ball, slightly overthrown. Wagner almost was able to strip the ball out for an incompletion, but a great job by Juarez to bring the ball in, and now just inside the red zone are the Snider Panthers.
And just when you thought Homestead was gaining momentum, that is a huge momentum swing in Snider's favor. Tyrese Brown, penalty flying to about the line of scrimmage. That might be holding, and that's exactly what it is. That's huge for Homestead. Get Snider out of the red zone.
This has been a relatively clean game so far, except for a couple flags here and there. A holding penalty there is not what you want to see if you're Coach Kurt Tittman.
Coach Tittman, he is 120 and 33 in 13 years with the Panthers. He's seen his due success. He holds the state title. Panthers, I mean, they even moved up to 6A for 2 years. They were doing that well. Now they're back down to 5A, but they're gaining some momentum again.
And who knows, if they have a very successful 5A season, we may see them back again in 6A for possibly reuniting the sectional rivalry between Homestead and Snider in the coming years.
1st and 19 after the holding penalty for the Panthers. Hand off to Tyrese Brown, exactly what they did before the holding penalty. Ball free, recovered by Halpert. That was almost a disaster.
The ball is fumbled.
And that was forced out.
Jumps on it.
by,
It will lose 1 yard.
looks like Austin Keyser got
Second
a
down.
paw in there.
And Austin Keyser's been trying to do this all season long, and it looks like it was Austin Keyser, Evan Person, and Carter Koob, a joint effort to rip that ball out. They've been trying to do it all game long. You see them batting at the ball, trying to knock it out. And finally, they get one. Unfortunately, not recovered by Homestead.
5-yard gain turns into back at the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 20. Another flag thrown. Pass complete to Jordan Lee, but
Pass is complete.
the way that
There's
one was, that
flag
penalty
on the
came
play.
out again at the line of scrimmage, this might be holding.
And another helmet coming off again for the Panthers. That was Jack Langs, the tight end.
Legal shift.
And it's going to be an illegal
on the
shift
Panthers.
actually on Snider. So once again, take that play off the board.
The 5-yard
Move
penalty
Snider
from
all the way back to the
previous spot.
35-yard line.
Replay at second down.
Correction, that was Jordan Lee with the helmet coming off, meaning he might have to go to the sideline for a play. And now a 2nd and 25 for Snider. I jinxed it. It was an announcer's jinx saying this was a clean game, and now already
Yeah, look what you've
penalties
done,
pushing them all the
Anthony.
way back.
Look what you've done. We still have a quarter of play to do.
It's like saying a kicker's never missed, and then Justin Tucker missing a kick.
2nd and 25 for Snider after 2 penalties in this set of downs. And a motion on the outside. Juarez moving inside a little bit. Play action to Juarez, complete at the 30, and he is drilled! Absolutely drilled by Aaron Wagner with the big hit.
And there's been a little bit of conversation going on between Juarez and Wagner all night long, as that's typical for a wide receiver DB matchup, and a little bit of conversation there, but Wagner laying out the hit, and now it's 3rd and 19.
3rd and 19 for Snider. Got a long way to go for it. We've seen their kicker, though, Nicholas Talamantes. He has the range. He missed a 51-yarder earlier, but he got far enough. There's a short pass complete to Jordan Lee, and he gained some solid yardage, but not even close to enough for the first down.
And a step over by Dorsey, knowing he made the big tackle. What a disciplined tackle by Ethan Dorsey, knowing they just can't get up the first down, grabbing by the waist and bringing down Jordan Lee.
4th and 14.
And it looks like they're going to opt for the field goal here. Not Talamantes out there. They'll go with Brian Peterson. It's Talamantes with the boots who can kick it from far
Brian
range.
Peterson
They'll let
in the kick
Peterson
field
go
goal.
from 40 here.
Go Panthers.
This could be a huge momentum swing if this misses. And it is way short. He kicked that one, popped it all the way up. A lob that barely crosses the goal line.
You see Aaron Wagner and Nate Anderson jumping up together, knowing they made a huge defensive stop, as now the ball goes back in the hands of the Homestead offense. Aaron Wagner all smiles on the sideline after that great possession play by him.
And now Homestead's offense, with 13 seconds left in this 3rd quarter, gets the ball again with the opportunity to tie this game up.
If you're Homestead, if you're Coach Skelton, I don't know how many more times I have to say it. Let him throw the ball downfield or give it to Brett Fox on the outside. Give him some space to work with, and you don't have to worry as much about time.
First down, shotgun snap, short throw, incomplete. Anderson almost got his hands around it. He's looking for a PI, but he's not going to get it. 2nd down.
And Nate Anderson with a little bit of hold from behind. Looked pretty clean. He's not able to haul in the pass. We'll see it right here. Nate Anderson at the top of your screen. Now let's go clean play
2nd down and 10.
by the DB.
Kedrell Billingsley in there making the pressure on Anderson. Short throw, incomplete, over the head of Brett Fox. 3rd down.
And now what you want to see if you're a Homestead coach is now it sets up a 3rd and long with only 6.6 seconds left to go in the 3rd quarter. You've got to get a touchdown or at least a first down here to not give Snider good field position.
Snider looking for a big 3 and out. 6 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. This might be the final play of the 3rd stanza. Zolman calling out his signals, Coach Zolman, to his players. 3rd and 10. Slavin, play action, looking towards Anderson. Jarred out, another Big stop by Kendrell Billingsley.
Kendrell Billingsley, the DB, has guarded Anderson well all night long, and there it is again. 2 plays on that possession, tipping the ball out of Anderson's hands, and that's what you want to see on the Panthers' defensive side. Great stop, great possession, 3 and out for the Panthers.
And Kendrell Billingsley, he was really the one who 2 times was able to jar the ball, bring some solid pressure on Nate Anderson. That's a tough task, but he was able to get it done.
Now Homestead being forced to punt. Carter Dixon with the bootleg.
And that one's high up there. And Snider will opt for the fair catch. Juarez bringing that one down, and that will end the third quarter. Snider up 14-7.
Snider 14, Homestead 7.
Rethink your limits.
Marco's Pizza, located at 10345 Illinois Road, inside the shops of Scott Road. Marco specializes in pizza, subs, and more. Order online at marcos.com or by phone at 625-6800. Thank you, Marcos, for supporting the Point 91 FM and being a proud sponsor of Homestead Media's athletics coverage.
Snider up 14-7 as we hit the final stanza of this game. 12 minutes left of football. And look at all that money donated, huh? $3,816.97 for the kids with the Riley Foundation. That is huge. It's always a
Thank you once again.
proud occasion for the student section, and that's a whole lot of money donated.
And although down on the field, these 2 teams are big rivals going at it. We've seen some DB wide receiver rivals, both sides donating their money and giving up their money for the Riley Hospital Foundation.
And there's another great run by Tyrese Brown to the outside to the far side, and he moves those chains just like that. Man, he has been unbelievable, unstoppable.
Tyrese Brown has just done everything for this Snider offense tonight. He's run the ball. He's trucked a couple guys. He's just pushed them downfield, getting the first downs. Couldn't have asked for anything more.
Hey, get him some more looks than NAIA. He deserves it. He is playing a fantastic game, and there's a whole lot of movement at the line. That's got to be offsides on Johnny Waddell.
And Johnny Waddell tumbled down. Couldn't really help himself. Going offsides, and that's not what you want to see. If you're a defensive coordinator, Coach Messel, you don't want to see that. More yards off penalties is not okay for the Homestead defense, but the Snider offense, they'll take it.
Especially when Snider is driving down the field. Now they're hit with a 1st and 5, and there's another offsides that time on Evan Person. He got way back there. Just like that, that's a free first down for Snider. Didn't even have to do anything.
Evan Person overly eager to rush at Luke Harper for the sack, and that's just 10 free yards for the Snider Panthers just off of penalties.
And not only that, but it allows even more time to come off the clock. Hand off up the guts. And it's just another big gain, this time by the backup running back, Langston Leavell, who has also gotten some time so far, and he's looked similar to Tyrese Brown in those minutes that he's gotten.
And it really is not just the running backs, but the offensive line has done their power. Center Caleb Hurt, right guard Brandon Stuckey, right tackle Demon Moore, all doing great job on the right side.
Big stuff by Jackson Chrisman. Whoo! He got back there.
Just as saying on the right side, Jackson Chrisman blowing by all of them. Look at him pushing past Demon Moore, bringing down the tackle for loss.
Swing him around and he's gone. How about that? That's the way to stop the run. And now 3rd and 7, 10 minutes left. This is crucial. You do not want Snider to hit the red zone, have the opportunity to make this a 2-possession game.
And watch out for Jordan Lee all the way out on the left side, and Kendall Billingsley also out on the left side, lining up in the slot.
Pressure coming. Throw to nobody. Intended,
Pass falls incomplete.
but not even close to Lincoln
Fourth down
Firks.
and
And
7 coming up.
Harper just had nowhere to go. Max Shields brought the pressure and just had to heave the ball up with nowhere to go. Great stop by the Homestead defense.
And here comes Snider attempting another field goal. This time they'll go with their long-range kicker, Nicholas Talamontes. So far, Talamontes and Peterson 0 of 2 for field goals. This one's 45 yards.
And on the season, Nicholas is 1 for 3 on field goals, but his long is 47, so this is within range.
It's up there. It's long enough. And he got it. What a kick by Nicholas Talamontes. 45 yards and a 2-possession lead for the Panthers.
And I'll tell you what, that kick could have gone 55. That had some leg on it.
He has got a cannon. 6'1", 185, and at least 90 of those pounds are pure muscle on them legs. Snider leads 17-7, and man, that is absolutely huge for the Panthers. Now they have a 10-point lead double digits, and the game is in their hands.
And now a 2-possession lead for Snider. All they have to do is run the ball on offense, knock off some clock. They're really good at that. We can say they're really good at running the ball and taking some time off the clock, but they have to get it done on defense. And inevitably, if it happens, they have to stop an onside kick.
We've seen Homestead attempt onside kicks in the last few years with Carter Dixon. Last year, they used it a whole lot, especially in that Wayne game last year. You saw them even test it out a little bit, so we know the capabilities of Homestead to do whatever they want when it comes to onside kicks, squib kicks, whatever they feel like doing.
And that's just a huge positive of the great special teams. And on Homestead, the onside kick there, they have been unsuccessful one time this year in their only attempt. The ball falls down for the second time tonight.
Again, it's a windy day here in Fort Wayne, Indiana.
The crazy thing is that there's no wind. The flags, 6-mile-an-hour winds. Okay, a little bit of a windy day. I'll give you that.
Southwest, I believe it is pointing over to exactly where that ball tipped over. Accurate graphic right there. Kept up to date with the Weather Channel. And they're actually going to have somebody come out and hold it. They're going to have Jordan Bennett, the senior defensive back, hold the ball so that this wind can stop being such a meanie.
Great effort by our producer, Caleb Wood.
Snider leads 17-7, game ready to kick it off. Nicholas Talamontes coming off the big 45-yard field goal. That kickoff goes nice and far considering how strong this wind is. Nate Anderson going to return it to the 25, cuts upfield to the 30, to the 35, and that's a big return for Nate Anderson to get it going.
The return specialist, Nate Anderson, gets the ball at the 20, 15-yard line, and all he has to do is find a tiny gap, gets through, even after taking the hit, pushes forward another 10 yards.
Nate Anderson, he's going to be on offense too, and they need him to be just as lethal. He's going to be on the far side, the near side actually.
The matchup with Nate Anderson is Santiago Ortez this time.
Slayton going to tuck it and run, find some open space to the near side, and takes a nice slide, converged on by Nicholas Talamontes. It feels like he's done everything in the last 3 plays. He actually has.
He has, for sure. Nicholas Talamontes, the kick and the stop right there. You see him applying the pressure, not giving Nate Anderson anywhere to go. Or sorry, Peyton Slavin. Nate Anderson was the one that missed the block on Santiago Ortez.
Handoff up the gut to Brett Fox, and he gets past the first down marker. That's a first down for Homestead. 9 minutes and 16 seconds left. You have to start thinking about moving a little faster here.
And Homestead, they're taking their sweet old dandy time. And they've got 53 yards to go. This is post-route Nate Anderson territory.
Halfback draw, handoff to Fox, and he is hit hard. Ball came free. They'll call the whistle first. My goodness. What a hit by Quincy Myatt.
Quincy Myatt applying the hit to Brett Fox. Brett Fox is not a big dude, only 5'10", 150 pounds. You see that hit. It's rough, knocking the ball out.
Have mercy, Quincy Myatt.
This is a rivalry for sure.
25th meeting between these two schools. Homestead leads the series 18-6. Or Snider leads the series 18-6. Looking to extend that lead with the win here. Play action, throw, aim towards Sparrow, and it's just about to his feet, tipped by the Snider front line.
Pass is incomplete.
Now that's a 3rd down and 9 for Homestead. They've got to get a pass. They've got to let Slavin unleash. You see the Snider defense dropping back a little bit just outside the 1st down marker, expecting exactly what we're expecting up here in the studio, and that is a short pass to either Gage Sparrow or Nate Anderson.
3rd and 9. 43, the 1st down line. Low snap, shotgun, short throw, incomplete, just behind Max Schultz. And that'll bring up a 4th down.
And Homestead, their offense is staying on the field. They don't want to punt it. Although it's 4th and 9, time is critical. Down 2 possessions. They've got to go for it. 4th and 9, this is risky.
It's risky, but at this point, with how the offense has looked, you have to take whatever opportunities you have to score points and take them 100% of the way. 4th and 9, and now seemingly desperation time for the Spartans.
The play clock is ticking down. They've either got to go fast or call a timeout.
4 wide receivers. Slavin drops back, and he is hit hard. Ball free. Recovered by Snider. My goodness. What a hit by Markel Keel. Wow.
And the flags are flying all over the place. This is going to be a 15-yard penalty after the play, but it doesn't matter. What a hit. Releasing the fumble. Slavin can't hold on to it, taking the huge hit. As you see come around, get absolutely blindsided. Brought down.
He laid the wood. My goodness, he's not even a starter. Get him out there, coach. Get him out there, Coach Tittman. What a hit.
Markel Keel. Unbelievable.
And that is huge because now Snider, not only do they have the ball back, he actually is a starter. Senior, 223 pounds, and he used all 223 pounds of force to get that big sack. That unsportsmanlike is going to be on Snider. So maybe the impact of that fumble not as big, other than really a morale booster for Snider, because now it's as if they allowed an 8-yard pass instead of getting the fumble because of the unsportsmanlike.
But momentum for sure just took a huge shift. Life was sucked out of the Homestead side of the field.
1st and 10 for the Snider Panthers. There's some pressure. Evan Person bringing it, and he wraps them up for the sack. Way back behind the line of scrimmage. That's 20 yards behind. Oh, and there's a flag thrown.
I don't know if that flag is going to be on Evan Person or if that's going to be on Luke Harper. The huge hit, bringing him down. Evan Person, I don't know if the replay extends, but he stepped over Luke Harper, and then, of course, the quarterback got in his face, and it's going to go against Snider. Basically meaning this is going to be a 30-plus yard sack.
And that is huge. I mean, just when you thought all of the momentum went to Snider, now after that, what is that, a 1st and
2nd down coming up
10,
for the Panthers.
20, 35. That is a 2nd and 35 now for Snider. They are way back there.
Looks like they're going to have to do something. They have to sling the ball. Harper has not let his arm loose much, only once so far this game.
Hand off to Tyrese Brown. He's going to gain a little bit of the yards lost. He's chopped down. Oh, he's hurt. He went down without a tackle happening.
Went down very, very awkward. We'll see a replay. Brown's a huge part of this offense.
I don't think he got tackled there. I think he just got... Oh, he got tripped up. And That's a bad injury for Tyrese Brown.
And it looked, after the play, his knee twisted after the trip up.
He gets up. What a trooper, Tyrese Brown. He has played a fantastic game so far. Over 100 yards rushing. That's a big part of their game lost. But he has had a valiant effort in this one, and just hope for the best.
After the injury timeout, 3rd down.
And the Snider, that's not what we want to see for the Snider offense. It's so unfortunate. He's played such a beastie game at the running back spot. And now it's 3rd and 27 too. Just unfortunate for Snider.
And nowhere to go. Halpert's just going to tuck it and run and aim for the sideline. Homestead with those 2 penalties really didn't even have to do much there other than stop a huge game.
A little bit of clock ran off. As you see, Harper had no passes open, chased down by Kyle Detweiler and Eben Person, forced out of bounds. And now setting up a 4th and 20, which, believe it or not, means in 2 possessions they actually gained 15 yards.
4th and 20, and the gadget guy, punter Nicholas Talamonte, is out there now. Try and boot this one way back. High snap, gets control of it. That's a little knuckleball. Takes a Snider bounce, though, and they'll let it roll past the 30 to about the 29.5 yard line. So not the cleanest punt in the air, but a nice little bounce, and it goes the distance it needed to go.
Homestead, they've got to get something going on offense. All they've got to do is just get a touchdown, but they have to get it fast. Not much time can be taken off the clock. And if you're Snider, you guard the pass like your life depends on it. You see them playing with 2 safeties right now, as they've been playing the whole game. You'll see it when we cut back to the main camera here in a second. Playing deep on the pass.
Short throw to Anderson, complete. He gets up midfield and lost the ball for a minute. And Snider says they have it. They'll blow the whistle dead. Snider really thought that was a fumble, but they will say Anderson's knee on the ground.
A little quick comeback by Anderson, having a little bit of space. And we'll see, he gets tripped up right here, and that ball was out before he's down. There's no review in high school, and I believe Snider, they were right on the call. They knew the ball came out before.
It was certainly close, but no review. And now we'll throw to Sparrow, complete. What a catch by Gage Sparrow. Wow, with the defense convening on him. Quincy Maya did everything he could, but not enough to stop Sparrow.
What a catch by Gage Sparrow down the sideline, tiptoeing, just keeping his feet in bounds. Oh my goodness. 1 foot just in bounds to get the catch.
Slavin drops back, throw complete again. This time to Max Schiltz to the 25, and the Spartans are moving quick.
He's pointing because it's a 1st down, a risky throw into triple coverage with the short post for Max Schiltz.
Ball on the ground, Slavin gets it, throw to Anderson, touchdown Homestead, improvisation complete, Slavin to Anderson.
And the hurry up offense botched, but it doesn't matter. Peyton Slavin to Nate Anderson again, and it looks like Peyton Slavin won the rock, paper, scissors this time after that touchdown. 2nd touchdown of the night between the 2.
And look at that, I mean, he dropped, that's the first play there to Max Schiltz, and then he dropped the snap and still was able to make the touchdown completion to Anderson.
There's nothing but confusion on the Snider side.
Dixon attempting the point after, and it is right down the middle. 6:27 left in this ball game. Homestead looking to come back, and boy, that touchdown is huge.
What limits you? Too small, too old, insecure, broken. You have no limits. Rethink your limits.
Kickoff after the Homestead touchdown for Slavin and Anderson. Touchback. Snider leads 17-14. Looking at other games of the SAC, how about them Chargers? Up 42-7 over the Saints. Lures up 47-9 over Northside. Wayne 30-20 over the Archers. And Northrop pitching a shutout so far. 21-zip over the Cadets.
And this is looking very, very bright for Bishop Lures fans. Of course, the game against Northside is a big blowout, but seeing Bishop Dwenger losing by so much, 35 to Carroll, that is very, very beautiful, I guess you could say, because if Lures beats Dwenger, they have the SAC sealed, no doubt about it.
Certainly it would be a huge win for Carroll, and there's so many SAC implications on the line in both that game and this one. First down run, and that is stuffed out by Max Schultz, number 9, tackling number 9. Langston Level got nowhere.
Max Schultz up the middle, making the tackle, bringing him down by the foot. This Homestead defense has just done phenomenal, and Aaron Wagner on your screen right now has been a big part of that too, not letting up any passes in the second half besides the one deep shot earlier.
2nd and 11. Student section alive. Handoff again, and that is going nowhere. The middle linebacker, Carter Koob, making the tackle.
And the Homestead student section's finally getting going a little bit as the Snider side has gone quiet. Both sides in red, but now it's Homestead's turn to get loud and excited as it's 3rd down.
5:30 left in the game. This is a huge 3rd down for both teams. Can Homestead make the stop, or will Snider keep the drive alive? Kyle Detweiler showing blitz. Play action. Throw complete to Juarez, and he got it. 1st down and up the field to the 47. That is huge. What a connection between Halpert and Juarez.
And how about Juarez breaking the tackle after the reception? You see the wide open, and then Ethan Dorsey coming in, missing the tackle. Or should I say it's Juarez breaking the tackle. Great feet, great agility, and gets the 1st down.
And now Snider on a drive here, trying to get into Homestead territory. Less than 5 minutes in this game, trying to chew as much clock as they possibly can. Shotgun snap, handoff to the outside to Level. Just trying to get back to the line of scrimmage. Sheds a ton of tackles, but all in vain as Jackson Chrisman and Max Schultz get in there to stop him behind the line.
Max Schultz looked a little shaken up. You see Carter Koob almost bring down the tackle. Schultz comes in, Matt Miller gets a piece of it. Austin Keyser, everyone on Homestead's defense trying to get a piece of it.
What an effort, though, by Level. I mean, he shed so many tackles he can't even count. Did everything he could to get back to the line of scrimmage. That shows how hard this Snider team works. 2nd and 11, another handoff to the outside to Level, and he is stopped in the backfield. Max Schultz, Carter Koob. How about them linebackers?
And big plays for the linebackers, bringing up 3rd and 11. If Homestead can get this stop, they can preserve their timeout. And now if Snider were to get a 1st down, they'd have to start thinking about getting the timeouts going. The Homestead fans wanted a spot a little bit farther back, but they're going to put him up where he was on 3rd and 11.
3rd and 11 here. 3:34 left. Blitz coming. Evan Person in the backfield, forcing pressure and incompletion. Intended for Juarez, but nothing going there. 4th down forced.
All about the Snider defense now. Can they get the job done? If Snider, all they have to do is hold Homestead on 1 possession, then they can run out the clock. There's only 3:30 left in the game. Both teams with full timeouts.
Talamonte is getting ready to punt this one far back. 3:30 left in this game. Snider clinging to a 3-point lead. High snap. And that is a beautiful punt. Nice spiraling ball. Covered by Isaac Barkas, and he goes a little far on the return. Was able to gain something out of nothing to about the 27. What a boot, though, by Talamontes.
And some whistles throwing. There are flags everywhere. You see Barkas, he was fighting for a couple more yards. Looks like we know this is a rivalry. It's been going crazy. Flags continuing to fly. It's Aaron Wagner who's been talking a lot this game with Juarez, and we'll see who this is on. Chippy fight out there on the field.
Homestead can't believe that penalty was called, but there it was, like you said, it's a little chippy down there on the far side. There's a lot of laundry. Gonna have to get the Tide pods out, maybe the softener, because that's gonna be a tough cleaning job. 3 yellow flags on the field. Refs talking this one out.
It's for sure getting a little hot out there on the gridiron.
Snider ball boy just waiting to pick up the ball. Refs will pick it up instead. Oh, there we go. He tosses it to the ball boy.
And I don't even know if the referees know who the penalty's on. It's on everybody. There were some fights breaking out, some hands thrown, some fists connecting with helmets.
It looks like maybe talking about offsetting penalties. Unsportsmanlike conduct, offsetting penalties. 1 on Snider.
Unsportsmanlike called on Snider. Unsportsmanlike
And 1
called
on Homestead.
And those are both going to be, that's going to be on Aaron Wagner and Kamari Juarez. No surprise at all, as those two have been going at it all night long.
1st and 10 now for Homestead. 3:18 left in the game. What can the Spartans do? They have a long field to cover, but they need to in order to tie or take the lead. And there's some movement.
Before the snap.
It sounds like offsides.
And great play by Homestead, getting them to jump off. They run this type of offense all the time, where they pretend like they're going to hike it and then look over to actually get the play. It works that time for a bonus 5 yards.
And Anthony, your commentator's jinx really proving its point. Whole lot of penalties ever since you said it's been a clean game.
That's my fault, and I take credit the wrong way.
1st and 5, Slavin gonna tuck it and run and get about 2 yards short of the first down marker, converged on by the Snider Panther defense.
And he's rushed a little bit less than he did last week. He had 12 rushing attempts last week for 65 yards. Only his 2nd run of the night for only 4 yards.
2nd and 1, clock ticking down, under 3 minutes. Hand off to Brett Fox, and he is stuffed before he can reach the line of scrimmage. Caden Hurst, the defensive tackle, getting in there.
This life coming from the Snider side as a big 3rd down comes for Homestead's offense and Snider's defense.
3rd and 1, blitz showing for Snider. Oh, a whole lot of people are going to be coming back there. Dominic Moon, just one of them, the Purdue commit, waiting to converge on Slavin. QB sneak, can he get past? Solid push, and he gets the 1st down to keep the drive alive.
Slavin slow to get up,
Picks up a Homestead 1st down.
but gets the 1st down for the Spartans, and it was really the extra push from Brett Fox as Homestead's running some hurry-up offense.
2:06 left. Quick throw to Anderson, just over his head. He had a little bit of space, but pressure coming in the backfield. Slavin couldn't get it to Anderson.
A blown coverage by Santiago Ortiz. Anderson taking advantage of the ball just thrown out of his reach. Smart play, playing quick hurry up. We saw them do it earlier, get the touchdown. Same exact play, unfortunately, doesn't go for the Spartans.
2:03 left. What a game this has been. Snider was up 14-0 at half, and Homestead driving down the field looking to tie or take the lead. 2nd and 10. Slavin drops back. Throw. Tipped. Almost intercepted. In and out of the hands of Quincy Maya. It was tipped and then almost went right into his paws. Could not catch it.
Slavin throwing a risky pass again to Max Schultz. That one just too high, and getting the initial tip was Kentrell's Billingsley. And setting up a 3rd and 10. Homestead, big play.
Here we go. Slavin drops back. Pressure coming. Screen to Sparrow complete. Trying to gain as many yards as he can. Extra push. Did he get there? He did. What an effort by Gage Sparrow. Spinned around. Kept chugging along and found his way to the 1st down.
Gage Sparrow coming across the middle. Breaks 1 tackle. Breaks 2, spinning like a ballerina, pushing all the way to the 1st down.
Intercepted. Deep bomb intercepted out of nowhere. Homestead not ready for it.
Intercepted.
What a defensive stop. De'Aaron Rodgers. De'Orian Rodgers.
And out of nowhere, Homestead trying again to do that first down, hurry up, doesn't go their way.
Minute 39. Homestead has all 3 timeouts, but now desperation time has officially kicked in after that interception thrown on the deep bomb.
An unbelievable, a shocker from the Homestead side. They had a first down, and just like that, gone.
1st and 10 now. In Homestead territory for Snider. And with the way the running game goes, or has gone so far, Snider may have this game in their hands. Handoff to Level. He gains a few yards. And there's the first timeout used by Homestead.
All Snider has to do is run the ball. Just run the ball, get the first down, and the game's over. Shocker here at Dave S. Walters Memorial Stadium.
And Snider, we knew that they'd come out energized, especially after getting that extra break without the Southside game last week. And man, the way that they're playing, it's almost as if their health bar is still in the green. I mean, they have shown so much energy throughout this game. You have to be impressed with the way the Snider Panthers are playing.
And Snider, they've done everything right this game. It's a low-scoring game, which one was not expected, especially with how electric this Homestead offense has been the entire season long. We knew the Snider defense was good. I don't think anyone predicted it would be this good.
Minute 34 left as Sweet Caroline plays Dave S. Walters, trying to get the spirits up for this student section. You see the phone flashlights on the other side. Those Snider fans, hey, they've got to be happy right about now with the game in the Panthers' hands. If they get a first down, it could be all over.
And the football players for Homestead aren't happy right now with some of the student section for Homestead's going out. There's still some game left to play. 2 timeouts left for the Spartans.
Minute 34, Homestead showing blitz. At the person ready to converge, handoff up the gut. Level spins around, gets an extra push, and he is 1 yard away now from a first down. Timeout for Homestead.
And the second timeout, it's going to be 3rd down and 1. Knocking on the door of ending the game as it takes an army of Homestead players to bring him down. And even on the tackle, an extra 2 yards. A valiant effort by the backup running back.
And Homestead just hanging on here to whatever they can. Just forcing a field goal would be huge, but you also have to think about the fact that Snider, there's no reason that they should go for a field goal, actually, because if you get stopped here, it's what, 4th and inches? Just go for it again.
And then if they go for it again, it just seals the game out. Don't make the mistake. Don't risk the ball being put back into Homestead's hands, because what's the difference? If you make the field goal, you kick the ball off, and Homestead is 10 yards back, you're still only a 1-possession lead. If you stop short to turn over on downs, they still have 70 yards to go, versus just getting the attempt at the first down is the right play to do.
And most importantly, with a field goal, I mean, there's a chance for so much disaster. A block, a kick 6. You never know what can happen. So this is essentially 4th down territory for the Panthers.
Absolutely, and we'll see if Snider tries to get Homestead to jump off sides. They've done it a couple times tonight.
They have all 3 timeouts, might as well use them. Gonna hand it off instead. Homestead can't stop him at the line. Level gets far enough, and that might be your ball game.
Only 1 timeout left for Homestead, and that's gonna do it. The math just doesn't line up for the Spartans, and Snider marching into Dave S. Walters Memorial Stadium, pulling off the upset over Homestead.
And on 2 weeks rest, Snider, they have played a fantastic game on the defensive end. Homestead, 42.3 points per game, 50.5 at home, and they are held to 14 today against the Panthers.
And with the loss, Homestead has been they've been knocked out of contention for the SAC title. It would take a miracle of unbelievable upsets for them to even have a chance, and even then, I don't think it is possible for Homestead to win after that.
Snider takes a timeout, and really barring a miracle at the Meadowlands moment, this game is all but over. Snider, that student section, they're getting rowdy. They're proud of their team. Fantastic showing from the Panthers. Hey, Tyrese Brown, he didn't play the last part of this game, but wow, what a phenomenal performance that he had in those early stanzas in the first 3 quarters. He was a show-stopping stunner.
And he played incredible, just disrupting every single aspect of the Homestead defense. They have been notably good at stopping the run game this season. Even they figured out Sir Hale. They struggled against Sir Hale in the first half, but they figured him out. Unlike Sir Hale, Tyrese Brown was never figured out by this Homestead defense, and although he went out with a gruesome injury, he played his heart out and is the only reason, I wouldn't say the only reason, but a main reason why Snider is winning this game and will win this game.
And I can't say this enough, but we hope that Tyrese Brown is okay after that injury. He played a fantastic game in this one. Snider, Homestead, bitter rivals. 25th meeting. Snider's going to come out with the 19th win. They're shaking hands at the line. Camaraderie, respect for one another. And Snider, they're going to be the ones to come out with the win.
And the Homestead D-line can have nothing but respect for the way that the Hog Squad for the Panthers played. And there's nothing but respect that can be good, especially for Damon Moore and Brandon Stuckey. Most of the runs were to that right side, and just unbelievable the way that they played, holding their own in the trenches.
And get hyped, Snider fans, as Snider knocks off Homestead. 19th win over the Spartans, and this one's a big one to push Snider past Homestead in the standings and get the signature win of the season.
And an SAC show shocker as Homestead falls to 4-2, and the Snider Panthers improve to 3-1. Correction, Homestead falls to 3-2, and the Panthers will improve to 3-1, taking that slot as the number 3 team in the conference.
And Snider, after having their season ended last year in sectionals by Homestead, they pretty much end Homestead's SAC hopes this season. A little form of revenge by the Panthers, and they are happy on that sideline. They're happy at midfield.
And the defense was talked about all season long, about how good this Snider defense would be. They didn't show it as much against Northside in the first game of the season. They didn't show it as much against Carroll, but boy, did they show it tonight, locking down Homestead. And all credit to the defense for sure, especially Dominic Moon, the head of that defense at the middle linebacker position. Pretty quiet on the night for statistics, but his impact there was definitely seen. In the corners for the Snider Panthers, Santiago Ortiz played phenomenal, and everyone else in that secondary.
Just a fantastic game from the Panthers, and let's look at some scores around the SAC. This is the first game that finished. Like we said, it was a pretty quick game. Carroll up 42-23 over Bishop Dwenger. Dwenger looking to make sort of a comeback, but it's a little too late now. Bishop Luers up 48-9 over Northside. Southside down 20-36 over Wayne. And Northrop still up big, 27-7 over the Cadets. Not really seeing any surprises on this board.
No, Carroll really getting the job done on offense. The only surprise I'd say is Wayne with that lead over Southside. It's still the third quarter, room to come back for the Archers, but Wayne obviously looking for their first win this season. Northrop playing a phenomenal ball, trying to bounce back this season after losing to Southside, and then Bishop Luers, enough cannot be said about them with how well they played.
Wayne looking, like you said, for their first win. It looks like they're going to get it, as they are the last winless team in the SAC, but right now up 16. Got to be happy for the Wayne Generals. And looking at next week's stream, or next game stream on Homestead Live on October 8th, it'll be Homestead versus Wayne. We just talked about Wayne looking to get their first win tonight and looking for a huge upset over the Spartans in that game, which will be October 8th, 7 p.m. here on Homestead Live.
And that game is 2 games away as Homestead goes on the road to play Northside next week and then rival Carroll in that big Week 7 matchup 2 weeks after.
Once again, your final score tonight, Homestead 17, Snider 14. The Spartans move to 3-2, while Snider moves up to 3-1 in the conference. For Anthony, Gery, and the entire Homestead Live crew, this is Brayden Carroll saying so long from Dave Walters Memorial Stadium. We'll see you next Friday over on 91.1 FM as Homestead hits the road and goes downtown to face the Northside Legends. This has been a presentation of Homestead Live. Have a good night.
What limits you? Too small, too old, insecure, broken. You have no limits. Rethink your limits.